We are here with Jamila Bey and Science Dog to start the stream. Buddy just happened to run over as things were starting. Hello, it's you guys are. It's people are coming in. Welcome to congregation to Sunday services. We've added a Sunday service to the congregation.
If you believe in the power of science, I want you to reach your hands out and move those phalanges and know.
Reach and touch your screen and then wipe it off because you have sticky fingers. I know what you've been doing this morning. Oh, man.
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thank you for hanging out.
This is awesome.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I love you so. I miss you. It's this whole like the fact that like whenever so quick. I'm glad everyone's letting us know that we have sound. Hello, Kiko. Hello, everyone. It's just we have to say hello to our regulars. So everyone's filing. Well, everyone's filing in for Sunday morning services or Sunday afternoon services because I forget how time zones work or how time works. But anyway, so I want to quickly introduce you to everyone. So this is my friend Jamila. Jamila is a longtime journalist who's done everything. And if you guys aren't familiar with how journalism as an industry works, you can have an amazing resume and just kind of have the industry keep kicking you around. Like it's as you guys know, I worked for the Outline earlier this year, and things were going great, and the Outline just kind of closed. And things like this have happened to Jamila, who's had an amazing career, has a brilliant resume, and has just kind of had things continually happen.
Like, I was at Al Jazeera America, and then my phone starts blowing up one day, like literally my off day. Are you okay, Jamila? What's going on? What did they say? What's going on? I'm like, what?
I remember that.
And it's like, oh, Al Jazeera America closed. You don't have a job anymore. That's happened in a bunch of places. Plus, I put myself through college reporting. I covered politics as a 19-year-old, like who'd voted in one election ever. And the cool thing about that was that people would tell me things because they think like I looked like a teenager until I was 31.
Oh man!
Wait,
you mean you're not still a teenager?
Well,
who are you? What have you done with Jamila?
Yeah, but like I've been doing it for so long that like there are people who will say, "Hey, will you write this op-ed or will you?" So there, and in DC, everything comes with an NDA. I mean, you say hi to somebody and you've got to sign that you'll never disclose that you waved to Ted Cruz and the Panera bread, or whatever place you like to get he goes to Panera anyway.
Good.
So like that.
Good to know I can judge him for his enjoyment of subpar coffee.
Yeah, their tea is really nice though. They've got a peach tea that I just go crazy for.
I do. They have a very good look. I'm just going to say their Fuji apple salad dressing second to none.
I love that. I love that.
It's
exactly.
Oh man.
So yeah, when we can finally not be surrounded by plague demons everywhere, and we can get together again, we should totally do Panera.
I can't. It's it's random story, but I used to work at a lab in Woburn, Mass, and there was it felt like we were in a desert surrounded by there was a tiny little mall next to us, and the only thing to eat there was Panera. So now whenever I think of Panera, I think of that horrible lab that I worked at, but good memories of escaping to anyways. I'm Star Starling just commented. So being a writer is like being a Trump employee. The internet tells you when you're out of work.
Scaramucci.
Oh man. It's look, hey, you lasted how many Scaramucci units did you last? I mean,
probably about 20, which forever, but
it's not bad in Scaramucci units. Like as long as we measure everything in Scaramucci units, we're all doing really well.
So when Bill O'Reilly was still at Fox doing his show, I was a regular on his show. I would go on, and my friend was Bill, you're wrong. And then we'd go on and we'd argue or
The
whatnot.
fact that you could go in there and not and hold your own against some of these people and be comfortable, pushing back is
It
a
is the
testament to how
legacy.
good you are.
I'm a cop's kid, and it's the legacy of families with, abuse histories. Like, you don't agree with dad, you're either getting a spanking or he's going to just, scream at you or whatever.
Yeah.
So on the one
You know
hand,
how to push back.
on the one hand, that's really terrible. On the other hand,
Yeah.
I think if I were a boy, I'd have been Mike Tyson. But I was a girl and I grew into a woman, so I learned to use my words and I learned
Yeah.
how to, needle and the more you give, the and I also, being that kicking hornets' nest is pretty much my hobby, being on Fox News, like, I can deal with the back and forth, and the fact that I studied government and could say, actually, the president doesn't have that power. The Constitution grants that as a right reserved to the states. So, yeah, you can keep talking about he said he's going to do this or that or whatever.
Yeah.
You're worried about Obama doing this or that or ever. However, the state of Virginia will never allow it to happen. The state of Maine would probably agree with it. Blah, 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 blah. And so that was all great. The day I was supposed to sign my contract, Bill O'Reilly got fired. They said, Jamila, we really like how you you have a thing for screaming at our white dudes. We're going to move you to a show. We're going to move you to a show called The Five, and oh man, his name just flew out of my head.
You would have been, oh man.
Oh my God, I can't think. Eric Bullard.
That.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Move you and
that overly Botoxed piece of, yeah.
Well, Eric wouldn't stop sexually harassing his coworkers, so they fired him too.
Oh my God!
What was I supposed to do the day he got fired?
It's like one of those things that keeps patterning. Just saying.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I just figure, something. I'll figure it out. The beauty of being able to communicate, as you well know, is that it's always a skill that's required.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what job you're applying for. They need people who can talk and who can tell you about a concept.
Right, and especially when you are the type of person who doesn't really shy away from. I love lions' dens. Lions. You stay away from the claws. You don't put your head in their mouths, and you pretty much do okay.
You were the first. I don't know if anyone said it since then. You were the first atheist activist who's spoken at CPAC, and now this is. I'm sure. I didn't realize it because I know you had spoken at. I knew this about you beforehand. I didn't. Look. I don't often. I told you this beforehand. I'm telling you this to tell it to our audience now. Mm-hmm. I don't Google my friends. I don't Google them to read their Wikipedia pages. So I knew that you'd spoken at CPAC. I didn't know you were the first atheist activist to have spoken at CPAC. So
man, I get such crap for that.
Did you get crap from both sides, both from Republicans and from atheists? How did that shake down? And tell us the story top to bottom. Let's hear that.
In a nutshell, I was on the board of American Atheists at the time, and I was having some problems in a job I had. They've since gone bankrupt and defunct or whatever, but they were, you can't do that. And I said, you don't have a problem with your Christian people being actual, lay ministers. I'm on the board of an organization that fights for a First Amendment right, which allows us all to be journalists. What's your problem? And they're like, well, we don't think. And I'm like, whatever, the hell with it. So I went to CPAC and I said, look, give me a reason to vote for you. I'm going to be blunt. I live in Washington, D.C. I'm a Black woman. You might not have noticed.
What?
I know. I've the whole world just completely ignores that, except when it comes to paying me. It's really odd. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Laugh, cry.
But I said, I live in a place where my vote does not carry the weight of the vote of everyone else. I also live in a place where, at the time, the Democrats here in DC were really doing what I thought was giving over the public schools to charter organizations. I really thought that kids in DC public schools were getting the short end of the stick. Now, you might remember there was a lot of controversy around Michelle
Yeah.
Rhee, who had the documentary made where she said these kids aren't being educated, blah blah blah. There's some truth to what she was saying. Now, I am incredibly fortunate. I am incredibly privileged. I've got a kid that stop listening, honey. I've got a kid. Shut up, boy. I love you. I've got a kid that is
Hey,
way smarter than me.
you brag on him all the time
You
online.
know,
So
I hit the baby jackpot. You couldn't pay me to trade for the kid.
it's to our audience out there who is not I'm gonna guess most of you are not friends with Jamila, but like you speak to the heavens on this child. Also, it sounds like he's gonna be the funniest human on the planet when he's an adult. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
looking forward to his
watch
stand-up
it.
comedy career.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. It's happening. I just won't let him. He can't go into clubs right now. We got to get
Right.
over.
Right. It's
Well,
just having been raised by you, I think, is training to be a comedian.
You're so sweet. But like, I've got a kid that's really smart. I've got a kid who's got, I can call up any scientist in this country and pretty much say, my kid doesn't understand this concept. Would you explain it to him? And I'll put it on the radio and we'll call it a news story. Like, I can get him tutoring and anything I can get. I have that luxury.
Yeah.
My kid will do okay. But if you consider that there are kids who are being raised by parents who are like Homer Simpson, I mean,
Yep.
what if there's a kid who could be the next Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah.
But
doesn't
their
have
parents
support.
have no concept whatsoever of how they should be educated, how they should be raised. This kid is being taught that the world is 6,000 years old and Jesus miracled it, or that because she's a girl, she don't need no book learning. She just need to, find her a man and push out some babies.
Man.
I believe that no matter how black or how poor or how effed up your parents are, if you're a child, you deserve the absolute best. And we should not be selling you to charter organizations who stand to profit and then kick you out when you don't do well on the test. And so I was really angry at the time around what I thought was warehousing and pushing out the future world changers. I mean, I look at little black kids and I see me. I look at little black children and I see future neurosurgeons and, the ones who can come up with the ideas to fix this planet. I don't see, numbers and dollar signs the way I think that, unfortunately, kids who look like I do. Let me put my pen down. I'm going to poke myself in the eye, try to put on my eyelashes because your eyes are always so gorgeous.
I have thrown my phone at my eye once. So, I mean, look, for all of my smarts.
Yeah. Oh, no. Have we frozen? Uh-oh. Sigh, babe, I think you're frozen. Hold on, I'm going to try and chat. So, okay, well, we can see Jamila, but not Yvette. Okay, so what I'm just going to do, Yvette is awesome, and I am such a fan of women in science, and, especially since I grew up at a time where we were told as little girls, you can do anything, you can have anything, you can be anything. And then as we've gotten to grow into women, and we find out, maybe that's not so true. Maybe there is a glass ceiling. Maybe there are people who discourage you and try to uh, take certain roles out of contention. Oh, you're it's okay for you to want to go to school and study this, but then you're going to get married, and I'm like, the hell with that. I want